Well, so we're here to look at a lot more as far as the discussions are concerned. We have been joined by George Kuntublankson, Member of Parliament, former Member of Parliament for Infantiman. Now the constituency is Kumfi. Gratefully, he's also picked his nomination forms. It was all pomp and pageantry, a lot more pomp, and that was added to it. You were very much excited. I see you splashed across the various news portals from the last week.
Maybe this morning you have given a prophecy.
I have given you.
Of course.
It's okay. Don't tell me what prophecy I prophesied.
So I won't talk again.
And also with us is Ursula Owusu-Ekufo. She is a Member of Parliament for Ablekuma West. And we say thanks for joining me. Okay, I won't ask any controversial questions. So straight away we hit the topic. And we know that there's been an announcement over the last 48 to about 72 hours about a likely increment of utility tariffs by the Public Utilities and Regulatory Commission, the PURC. And already, according to the news report, there seemed to have been some opposition to the impending announcement or intentions of the PURC. But this also stems from the fact that the various utility companies say they just seem to get enough from consumers as far as what they have to be paid to make sure they offer quality service, but also get the needed revenue for their services that they offer.
They're not telling us the truth.
What's the truth?
We've had, let me say good morning to your viewers.
And your constituents.
Oh, I was going there. And all the residents of Ablekuma West.
Great.
We had an interesting weekend and had fun interacting with a few people from Let My Vote Count, Alliance and Movement for Change, and AFAG, and McMenu on the new voters register. I had a forum and invited them to come and educate people. I called the NDC, they didn't show up, so they came and informed us about why they think we need a new register, and it went down very well. So I thank all those who were present. Now, the utility companies and the government are not telling us the whole truth. I'm not surprised that everywhere they've been on the roadshow, the PURC is having a public consultation, more or less. It's been roundly rejected. They've been in 3 regions or 4 regions so far, and all the people have said that no, we can't afford any tariff increase for now. The last 3 years of living in darkness has ruined everybody's livelihood. Nobody can say that they haven't been affected by the doomsorization of our country, as Prof. Lumumba put it. And so, in the face of non-existent power supply, continually, and we've had tariff increases over the period with the same excuse that we need to pay realistic tariffs for the power we are not getting. But the main reason why they've hiked it by 100% is because all those private individuals who have started or are putting up plants to provide electricity for us, the PPPs that are going on currently, all those private investors insist that they be paid a certain level of remuneration for the power they provide. And so, whether we like it or not, they're going to go through the motions. We've heard you, yes, you don't like it, but tough. And they pegged it at 100% so that they can say, okay, we listened to you, so now we brought it down to 50%. And people will say, hooray, you've done well. Meanwhile, they were actually looking at 50% all along. So it's, let me say, a gimmick or a PR exercise we're seeing between the PURC, the government, and all the utility providers. And it is almost inevitable that we're going to have a tariff increase, despite the objections of Ghanaian people, despite the impact it's going to have on people's livelihoods and economic activity. So if there is this constant call for us to buy made in Ghana, question I ask is, how are we going to produce made in Ghana?
If we don't have enough energy access.
Exactly. And be competitive at it as against imports, when our cost of doing business is increasing by the day. So it's as if we're all deceiving ourselves. We know it's going to happen, and yes, we are ticking the boxes to say we've done consultation, that.
It's good that you made reference to the public fora or engagement that the PRC has been embarking on. We know the latest to raise concerns about the likely increment is the fora, or the participants from the fora in Tamale. Okay. At the end of the day, is it not about how effective the various utility companies can be, and what really is due them, if we have to be realistic as to what we have to pay?
I'll use ECG as a case in point. The government owes it so much money. If you are unable to collect on your debts, and yet,
if it's a government,
if it is the government, they are untouchable. The state, okay, Ghana, state institutions, ministries, departments, and agencies of state, owe the ECG so much money. At last count, it's something in the region of about 3, 4, 5 billion. You can't collect that, but let you, the domestic consumer, owe 30 cedis a month. They will come and disconnect you. So what's the point in continually telling us that we need money, but the state owes you and you are unable to collect your debt from the state, and you keep burdening the domestic consumer who consumes just a fraction of the energy consumed and you produce, and yet we bear the brunt of having to pay, and we get disconnected, and yet the government doesn't. So why do we keep deceiving ourselves and lying to ourselves? That's the question I ask.
Mr. Kusu-Blankson, from what Esla is saying, it could be an inference where government effectively is making the utility companies ineffective, because you want them to be effective, but at the same time, you owe them so much, and you as government is not paying.
Well, let me take this opportunity to greet our viewers out there, more especially the citizens of Ekumfi, and welcome my dear sister on this program, because this is the first time meeting her on the program.
Oh, it is, eh?
Yeah.
Right. I know you go to Peace FM sometimes.
Yeah, but I've never met her on any platform.
Yeah.
But, it's good that I've met her this morning. Yeah. We're going to think about Ghana.
Absolutely.
And I thank God that the point of view that he started is geared towards Ghana. That is all politicians should be. But we have only one nation. This nation existed before politics came into being, or those political parties came into being, and they will go, and this Ghana will be there.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, let me be appreciative about the manner in which the PURC is going around the whole country to seek the opinions of the people. By seeking the opinion of the people, that is not enough. What are you going to do to solve the problem? What are you going to do to solve the problem? The problem of this country with regards to energy production date back our predecessors.
Well, we do understand,
yes.
But
I'm coming. Let me. But you see, we have not been able to check waste in the system. It's 1 point. 2, like my dear sister is saying, that government institutions also much too, state institutions. And we have been looking on, nothing happening, complaining about it, and nothing is being done. That is the effect that we are having now. So the individual productive sector, like those power producers who are in private business, they've set their target. I'm going to give you energy. There's so much that I can get out of it in order to make profit so I can pay my workers. You see what is happening. So now the state is forced to come out either to accept it or refuse it. When you accept it, the people will be on you. When you refuse it to, the nation is going to sink, because now even it's affecting the what do you call, the revenue of government. The GDP is affecting it, because the what do you call, all the industries have come to a standstill. It has created unemployment. It's not a burden on the government. So even the government itself is not happy about what is going on. But because the issue started long ago, and people did not take prudent measures to see the nation as something that we must tackle, and we saw it politically. This is where we found ourselves. So this tells us that.
Is that really the case? It's not that really we needed to have taken certain decisions, perhaps in the more recent past, that we have not.
Yeah.
Come again?
Is it not that we should have taken certain decisions in the more recent past that we have not?
Well, you see, in our country as it is, whatever starts somewhere has a cascading effect. If you start well, the end will be.
Meaning what? Can you clarify what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying that, look, I'm saying that
who should
historically,
who should have started what?
I mean, those who were living previously. I'm not saying
those who were managing the state.
That is the system.
Who are you referring to?
I'm referring the regimes that have come to this country. Regimes. I'm not talking about one regime, because if you create a problem, it will have this cascading effect on the next.
Okay.
You understand? But when we come, anybody that comes, so, well, when they were there, this is what they did, so let him do what I could. You understand? But if all of us who see the problem as a problem concerning Ghana, not because of attracting votes, because one day you will leave. Economy has no color, so economy affects everybody, whether MPP or
It's CPP. An interesting point you make. You're talking about the ideal situation, but we know realistically that's not what the managers of the economy have been able to do.
My brother.
To the point that now we're being promised badges. At what point we don't even know when the badges will be coming.
Emergency badges, which have taken a year.
Let me tell you one thing, my brother. You told my sister that she's controversial, sarcastically.
Oh, really? When did I do that?
No worry, don't worry. I'm just want to prove a point. I just want to prove it.
Okay.
Me sitting here, people consider me as controversial person.
Well, you have always been since I knew.
That and I'm telling you, anybody who
because you don't want to talk government land.
You say it as it is.
No. I'm a Ghanaian. I'm a Ghanaian. You understand? If the economy is good, it affects my generation. I'm not thinking about what I'll get today. I'm thinking about my children. You understand? You understand? When you read Proverbs, it tells you that good person leave legacy for his children. But wicked stores things and the righteous come to take it. Go and read Proverbs. So what we are doing as a nation, Ghanaians, we must know that we can't cheat our brothers and go free. You understand? Your illegal connection is done by people. You see, there are so many lapses in the system, and we must tackle it as Ghanaian without using political lenses.
But at the end of the day, it's about the leadership that is there and what kind of influences that they can exert. We're here because, look, the utility companies, but especially ECG, we want to go for a certain tranche of the Millennium, is it account? Challenge account. Okay. At the end of the day, they've given us certain conditionalities. We've gone to the IMF. They also say you make sure that you don't subsidize whoever that is a category of your population. So we need to take the hard decisions. Can Ghanaians take it realistically as we see it? Whether it's 100% increment in tariffs or 50%?
Well, it's a difficult situation we all find ourselves in. And it is due to a multiplicity of factors. Every government that has come has tackled the utility energy problem as best it can. And like you said, there are more recent decisions taken which have cost us, led us to the predicament we are in. The independent power producers need to be paid. IMF has also indicated that he's drawn a line under subsidizing. Were there any subsidies at all? I'm not sure there was, because we've repeatedly been asked to pay more with the promise that they would improve the service delivery and efficiency. And yet, we're still, the situation keeps going from bad to worse. So I think it's inevitable. I am not sure Ghanaians will be able to take it, in addition to the many hardships that we've had to go through. My fear is that we may see some insecurity and unraveling at the seams. I pray that we are adaptable enough to be able to soak up this intense heat and pressure that we're being forced to
From what you're
deal
saying,
with.
we'll have no option than to accept it, is that not it?
Well, there's only so much we can take. We have adapted, molded, compromised, accepted a lot of pain within the last 4 or 5 years. And my fear is that maybe we may be getting to breaking point. And people may say, not again. If you listen to the sentiments of all those who spoke during the public fora being held by the PURC, it's as if we're getting to breaking point. So it's incumbent on the government and the authorities also to weigh whether or not they can impose even more hardship on an overburdened population without something giving. If something gives, Lord helps us all. Lord help us all. I pray we don't get there. But I see a lot more unrest, not just demonstrations, but maybe more active rejection of any further hardship.
Somebody will say you're inciting.
I am.
You are just being preemptive for nothing.
No. Look, I just completed a course in conflict, peace, and security. I see trends, or I have been taught to look out for potential flashpoints and sound a note of caution and ask us all to be more proactive in preventing those from happening. So maybe that is what human insecurity, increasing hardship, people will react against it. So can we do it sustainably without suffering any negative fallout? I hope so. If we don't, what are we doing to also counter the potential fallout? Because let's face it, I don't know if people can take this in addition to unemployment, underemployment, all the various issues that we're having to deal with. So it's something for the government to watch, something for all of us to pay attention to and act to prevent it. If it is at all possible, let's delay the evil day or give it out in smaller doses, by 100%, 50%. It might be a tough pill to swallow. So let's all see how we can manage this so that the security of this nation is not compromised because of the need to pay independent power producers and obey IMF prescriptions.
I remember, for example, the setup we have here, we quote Katie Hammond, the former Deputy Energy Minister, and Mr. Kutumbla, he says, I do not advocate that the poor people of Ghana should be squeezed the way it seems to be happening. But we know that the PRC is an independent body, but government can't say it is oblivious to whatever rules or regulations they would want to now enact in the next phase. Is that it?
You see, Roland, let me just say something here that at times we talk about institutions being created by government. But you should remember that those institutions were created by we Ghanaians.
To serve us.
That is it. Because we vested our authority in the government that be there and govern for us. So we Ghanaians are part of the institution created. So we must make sure that they do things according to our will and the sovereignty will of the nation. Finish. You understand? But at times...
So are you saying, so if Ghanaians, because of the clarion call we're having, majority of the citizenry saying we can pay more, they should also empathize or put themselves in the shoes of the ordinary Ghanaian? Should that be it?
As a Rodan, you should know that one man can make a difference. Not the fact that the minority says no, the majority says yes, should be a bother. But what we should understand that, is it going to help to ginger our economy and its end result will be better for Ghana? This is the question we should all ask. If so, then we must address the inadequacies. Those which are brought to be in this situation that we find ourselves.
Okay.
Then we'll be doing something better for Ghana. You understand? But if we just sit down, throw our hands in, alibi, complaining will not solve the problem.
Okay.
But get on the job and let's do it as a Ghanaian. You understand? By doing so, then we are helping Ghana.
Okay.
Because and whatever we put in place now, whoever is found in terms of affairs will continue from there. If we are not able to swallow the bitter pill now, when are you going to swallow it?
Well, one person who says that he will be the next president is Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He's been on a tour. He calls it Rise and Build tour, is that not it? Well, but we have a report that is saying, it is the Global Competitive Report, indicating that Ghana has gone up by 3 places in the latest rankings. And even though Mauritius in Africa is topping, it says that, well, relatively, we seem to be doing well despite all the problems we have. Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo in his tour, Rise and Build tour, someone says everything down in Ghana is not the thing that I guess everybody should be expecting, just because government is not taking the right decision, so to speak. The Vice President, though, says that things will improve. Setepe, who is the Finance Minister, also says things will improve. Almost as if it's he is becoming a doomsday conspirator.
The most successful politicians are those who speak the mind of the people.
And speak
who
futuristic.
say what the people are thinking and feeling. Now, I think I heard Professor Lumumba say that if the IMF praises you, be very scared. Didn't he say something like that?
He's never become president before. He's never...
No. If the IMF is praising you, then it means your people are suffering. Now, suddenly, everything the IMF says is what is the actual situation on the ground. But you and I know that over the past few years, every index has been negative. Talk about our economy, GDP growth, inflation. Everything has gone negative. Maybe the only thing that is increasing is the rate or exchange rate of the cedi as against the dollar. That one is going up. So in some parts of the world, they say they are doing well because now if you have $1, you get more cedis. So that's good. They claim. Even that is very, very negative. But they will twist it in such a way that they can derive some political mileage out of it. Akufo-Addo is speaking the mind of the people and articulating their pain and their concerns. That's somebody who has his pulse, his finger on the pulse of the people. And I don't think I am being partisan, I'm being political if I say that. That is what the people are feeling. In every sector of the economy, manufacturing is down, agriculture. I just had a news item that we're in for food shortages because of the poor rains we've had this year. And if the rains don't come and come quickly this year, next year we're in for a very, very rough ride.
Especially up north.
In the food belt, North and Brong-Ahafo regions, which provide us with the bulk of our staple foods, everything is negative. You ask yourself why. I've said it before. It is as if everything, and please, it is as if everything this government touches, the ruin. The economy is down. Social life, just name it. Even in this same Global Competitiveness Report, it's telling us that our training output in our workplaces, we're not taking up ICT and new technologies the way we should. We're not improving our work ethic and being as efficient and effective as we could be. And yet, because we are up or down 3 points, it is a hooray moment. We should be sad. Ghana does not deserve to be in the position we are in currently.
We should have been first in the global competition.
much more. We should have been doing so much better. It is a source of deep pain to us that we are in this situation. Ghanaians are excelling across the globe, and yet we're messing up big time in our own country. Now, what would have happened if we had targeted the investment of our oil receipts? This government has got more money than any other government in the history of this country. They have got more money, more loans than any other government. And yet look at the situation in which we find ourselves. And that is from their own assessment of the economy. Yes, I mean, you have to try and find some good news in all this doom and gloom. So I really don't blame the Vice President and Setekbe for trying to talk up and let it seem the situation.
Well, somebody who said Nana is just scoring cheap political points. He's going on a rise and build tour. He wants to garner the needed enthusiasm and perhaps following to make sure that he's really in the right stead for the elections next year.
But what do you expect? I mean, whenever there's an issue in the NPP, the NDC makes mileage out of it. And I don't blame them. They should. I would, if I were in that position. So if Nana Addo, who's seeking to be elected as the president of this country in 2016, also points out to the people that, hey, the NDC has been in power for 6.5 years so far, and everything is going down south. So maybe the problem is not so much us, but it is those who are in political leadership. So try me too. Maybe if you kick them out and bring me in, we will improve our lot, because you have a fresh mind, fresh ideas, fresh blood, a new team, bringing in fresh energy to tackle our problems. And that's a call Ghanaians are listening to, even in their own quiet moments. And I know my brother here says it as it is, so he will admit it. Things are not good. So if you tell us that we've come up 3 points in the Global Competitiveness Report, so clap for me, I've done well. I can feed my family, I can pay my school fees. My children who left school are sitting at home because they can't get a job. And if you tell them to go into business for themselves, there's no power for them to even begin to produce whatever it is that they can produce. It is a very awkward situation we all find ourselves in. So maybe it's time to remove the driver who has consistently been looking for the, not potholes, the manholes in the road and driving our car into the ditches and all that and ruining it. It's time to move him aside and give the car to somebody who would at least look for the best way on the matter track to drive us through. We're in a mess.
Mr. Kuntu Blanton, politics, or that's a fact from Nana Addo?
Let me tell you. You see, in this world, when you are building an economy, you can't build it at a goal. You may be doing better in some aspects, in some aspects also, proportionately, you can have a marginal development or marginal growth. That's how economy is built. So I am totally indifferent to the statement made by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, because you can't say all is bad. Then you are not a living creature. You should see some positive marks being done, and where you need to, challenge.
You mean he should be praising you when the praise is not due?
Yes, you need.
Why should he be praised?
Listen to me. I beg you. You are the host, but let him land and come with my opinion. All will not be well, but some aspects will be well. Because like he's saying, loans are being collected. Some aspect of the loan is being used in constructing roads, building schools, and helping the energy sector. You could see that even on the street, they are offloading the hydro and giving solar panels. It's part of the development.
The ones connected to the national grid.
That is, so that we can have a little bit for the industry to make the little money for the growth of the economy. So I don't want to see that in that manner. But I'm saying you this. You see, if you want to be a leader, you must start from your own home. Start from your own home. Being able to put your house in order, that shows that you are ready for this.
Well, somebody said that's good excuse for you to say, because
that's my observation.
Well, because there's turmoil in the NPP. Whatever Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo says.
There's turmoil everywhere.
Let him tell you.
Even in the NDC.
No, pontificating is not a solution. The sweetness of the pudding is in the eating. You understand? If we're a leader who wants to lead this country, bringing all of people together, you must start from your own home, where different accounts is being opened somewhere.
That's not true.
Well, that is what I see. Paul said, I only testify about what I hear and what I see.
But it's not about poison.
So I don't live there. I don't live in the NPP headquarters. So whatever you throw out there, we will take it and tell the people that this is the way. I mean, all these things will not solve the problem. At the end of the day, let us all see what we can do to solve it.
Mr. Kutumlas, is it not true that for the last 3 years, the variables as far as at the end of the financial year were told of the economy have not been bad?
But
have not been good.
The president himself admit that there are challenges.
One, we've overrun our budget several times.
He says
this year we still overrun our budget to the point that we even have to go to the IMF. Which more signals do you need?
My brother,
as somebody who is observing.
You remember when the health issue started, I sat here and I told you that we shall overcome it. And indeed, by the grace of God, we have overcome it. Not in total, but I know there's the light at the end of the tunnel. Taking cognizance of the discussion we've had with them, let us, be confident and positive in our mind that this Ghana will not go back. It will go forward.
But we don't have any confidence in your ability to take us forward because you've persistently been taking us backwards.
But what you two will say is not. It doesn't lie in the mouth of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to be perhaps also espousing the opinion of each and every Ghanaian, so to speak.
Why
because
not?
people also have their own observations they make as to how they tend to benchmark how government is performing or not.
Oh, well, you might say that a road here, a light there is evidence that the government is performing.
Even water.
But every government which has come to power in this country has built roads, provided electricity, provided water. I went to school in Fansiman. We used to carry water, walk, Abanzi, Kormanti, from Salpon just to carry water. Oh, it will expose my age, please. A woman doesn't reveal her age.
Okay, then.
Okay, from around 76. Were you there?
No, I was in the DC then.
From around 1976. But the water situation has improved, thanks to the NPP government. But that's not what I want us to dwell on. The people general, there's this sense of despair, of hopelessness, of not seeing any lights anywhere since these people came to power. And all the indicators have been negative. I say yes, you have to say that things will improve. When?
Very soon.
You have had 6.5 years so far.
Soon.
Almost 7 years. Next year will be 8 years.
Well, the president said this is his first
time. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not.
I'm very, very sorry. That's what he will say.
No, that is it.
Constitutional. Chairman of the economic management team from 2008 to 2012, what did he do? Same President Mahama, chairman, economic management team. Now president from 2013 to 2015. What has he done? In the 6.5 years that the NDC has been in power, all indicators, without exception, have been negative. So what will engender that confidence that you're saying we should have in you? What is there to point to?
Well, the polls next year will determine, is that not it?
Absolutely. So Nana Addo is saying that look at Cote d'Ivoire. When Ouattara came in, he's brought a country which has been riddled with civil war.
So Cote d'Ivoire is better than Ghana, isn't it?
Much better than Ghana.
Okay. I wanted to make a point, but you can't make a point.
They changed their president and they got results. So let's change ours. We will get results.
You see, when you talk about development and situations, we must make inference to existing conditions, the area you find yourself. Cote d'Ivoire is not Ghana.
Well,
it was much worse than Ghana.
Cote d'Ivoire is not Ghana.
They used to be in a very bad situation. It became a conflict-ridden country.
That doesn't matter.
It does.
Ghana
were much worse.
Ghana need not to have conflict situation before we can solve our problems.
Okay.
You understand?
I get your point. I get your
so
point.
Ghana should have been much better than
George Kuntu Blankson.
Much better.
He is a parliamentary aspirant for the NDC in that very constituency, Ekumfi. He used to be in Infantiman East because he used to be the former member of parliament for Infantiman East. And thanks for joining me, Uncle George. All right, and Esla. Owusu Ekufo is a member of parliament for Ablekuma West. All right. My question, I won't ask that question. We're taking a break. When we come back, when will your primary be held?
I have no idea.
You have no idea. Okay, that ends my inquiry.